There's a new way to move in Grenada. Ride Go. Ride Go is here. Ride Go. Where do you want to go?
Are you a progressive young leader, a proactive emerging executive, a rising professional? Then you need appropriate cover for your vehicle. Introducing the Pro Motor Plan from Beacon. Car insurance that includes free loss of use, windscreen cover up to $3,500, free special perils, free accident forgiveness. Get Beacon's Pro Motor Plan today. Don't procrastinate. Call Beacon today at 440-4447 or visit beacongrenada.com.
Yes. Ride Along Live, welcome to the ride. Welcome to Monday on the ride. And my camera is right here. Yes, welcome to the ride, guys. And I understand. In fact, let me ask a question to a lot of you viewers, right? Because right before the program, I got a chance to go ahead and read some of the comments, right? And I realized that a lot of our viewers, supporters on the ride are sort of apprehensive about hearing a different opinion on any particular topic, right? In fact, for the promotion of this show, a few people said that, listen, I don't watch it. I want to know why. I want to know why so that I can kind of understand it better. Because I would think that if we have a conversation that brings both sides of an argument where you could hear and debate, and it's not a fight, it's not a battle, it's not a cuss out, it's a conversation, it's a debate, right? We can ventilate and we can disagree. We should feel free to disagree, right? And I just want to understand why that whenever something comes up or a conversation comes up that it may not be the type of or the person or so, or the conversation that you may not feel you want to support, why isn't it better to have a healthy debate than to just avoid the situation? Isn't it better, I should say, to have a healthy debate than to avoid the conversation? I always have to say that, right? And after I have this type of programs, I always have to put everyone have a story to tell, because in fact, truth and in fact, I believe the more we could understand things that we have a difference of opinion, is more that we learn. So today's program, hey Larry, how you doing? Lacey J, Lord of Mercy, how you doing, Lacey J? I ain't seen you in a long time. So today's conversation, I want to bring on two gentlemen. Right. Oftentimes they share different perspective on particular topics, right? Which I think is good, because again, I get to learn, you get to learn, and everybody broaden their scope. And it's fine to disagree with someone. And I feel we got a lot of disagreement here tonight. Nonetheless, I believe that we should have this conversation. Okay? So, my guest today is Michael Batiste, who some of you guys absolutely love. Who was a parliamentary representative from my area, the Union, the Ladigue, the Munich, that area. He knows my entire family. And he sometimes come on with a difference of opinion to some of my guests, but I think it's good we get to debate. So Michael Batiste is back on the program here today, and we're going to talk about the rally that was held yesterday. All right, so we're going to talk about that. Also on the program today, we have someone that you know on the platform as well, Ian Django Thomas. He's been here for quite a bit, and we're going to conversate. Now again, guys, we have to be respectful of difference of opinion. This is how this platform was built, and I think that I don't think anything would change that. Okay, All right, but before I bring on my next guest, I have to say this, guys. I've been speaking about this for the past couple weeks, months. Last 2 years ago, I went to Ghana, and it was such an awesome experience. I decided that I want to go back to Ghana. But this time around, I want to bring a few of my friends with me, right? So we're going to be going to Ghana from the 16th to the 26th. It's 10 days in Ghana, right? 10 days in Ghana. I want to invite you guys to come along. Now, you're going to have an amazing time. We're going to make sure we take care of all your accommodation, pick you up at the airport. We have an amazing set of excursion lineup for you while you're in Ghana. So I want to invite you guys to Ghana. It's April 16th to the 26th, and it's called Touch Africa. And we're going to be touching Ghana, all right? I want you guys to mark that date down. Now, you might be thinking, oh gosh, it's a lot of money, oh gosh. But listen, the experience that you're going to have in Ghana is worth 10 years of vacation. You could just figure out what you're doing for the next 10 years in vacation and put it into Ghana. We have an amazing payment plan, as low as $500 payment plan to get you in to Ghana. And we're not taking a lot of people. 25 people we go into Ghana with, right? And the other big thing about it is that there is a big carnival happening in Ghana at that point in time as well. The first ever Ghana Carnival, they call it Carnival, right, in Accra. We have all the links, we have all the arrangement from the time you touch down to the time you leave. We provide you with food and everything. So make it a date and prepare to go to Ghana with us. April 16th to the 26th, we're going to Ghana. We're going to Accra. We're going to have an amazing time. Right? For more information, guys, you guys could go to the website. It's touchafrica, Africa.com. That's touchafrica.com. Get ready for Ghana. Ride along is going to be there. Make sure you guys have an amazing time. Take it to all my favorite spots in Ghana, the motherland. All right, so let's bring on my guests, right? Because they are ready to chat. Again, as I said earlier, he is a favorite on the platform. As you can see, he's smiling big, a big smile. Michael Batiste is here with us, and he's going to share his views. In addition, we have Ian Django Thomas. But let's start with Michael Batiste himself. Michael Batiste, how are you doing, my friend? How things?
I am just great. I am on top of the world. And it is rather sad when you have to soften the ground. You have to beg people to be tolerant of others' opinion. That is the level how politics have sunk, and it is rather sad. It's like going back to the dark days of the 60s and the 70s when we fought each other on the streets, and we end up picking up guns and killing each other and hating each other and all of that, and it's rather sad. I am here not because I believe that people will agree with me. No, I'm not here because of that. I'm not here because I am afraid of what people are going to say, and there are many of them who are gunning to send in their negatives. I grew up in a community in Munich where if you run from anyone, it was a dishonor to your community. You were not seen as someone who is deserving of saying you're from Munich. So I am not concerned about negative comments. I will say what I have to say without fear or favor. And who like it, just like it. And who don't like it, that's just up to them.
Okay. All right. That's pretty interesting introduction speech. Django, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Happy to be here again, once again. This time sharing the platform with my parishman, my comrade from Greenville.
Yes. Let's start, guys, because I think it's going to be a lengthy show, but we'll try to keep it in good timing. Michael, you said earlier, right, in your introductory speech talk about the type of politics and people disagreeing and people unable, because I see it a lot. I see it all the time, and I think it's getting too bad. It's getting really bad. What, aren't we, some of us, responsible for the toxic for the toxic nature of the politics that we are speaking about here? Aren't we a part
No,
of it as
I don't think
managers?
so. I think we are politically violent people by nature. We hate um, a dissenting opinion. And it was quite evident. We had, even when you have governments, you had a revolution in 79, they overthrew a government. They had some commonality because it was very Gary. And then when they got together, they started disagreeing among themselves. They couldn't sit and even agree to disagree. And it ended up in chaos, um, which led to the death of a whole cabinet, and where the United States government had to intervene in because Grenada was on the brink of civil war. So there's nothing new. We are intolerant of each other, and sometimes we ask ourselves why our children behave that way. Why do they walk around with their pants below their bottom? Why they have no respect for authorities? Why we see so many of our young people head into prison? Because we are not showing examples. I mean, look, Django and I does not belong to the same, does not subscribe to the same political philosophy. And let me hasten to say, I am not here representing anybody. I'm a Garyite, and I believe in the fundamental principles on how the GLP was formed. It's not active today, and I remain loyal to that philosophy. I am not here representing any political party. I am just opposed to some of the policies of the National Democratic Congress, and I make no bones about it. And if you, as we go along, I will tell you the areas where I disagree with with the Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell. I think he put in Bishop picture on a note, same note with Uncle Gary. I thought that was insulting. I thought that was distorting our history, since Maurice Bishop was not even a member of parliament in 1974 when Grenada got independence. He was not a prominent figure then. So I disagreed with them. I disagree with some of his economic policies. And we could go on and on. I disagree with he naming October 19th as Heroes Day. So I disagree with his utterances that people should be solemn. I don't want to be solemn on the day Maurice Bishop was killed. I don't want to be solemn at all, because there was over 3,000 Grenadians that was freed from prison on that day. And I don't think the families of Miss Alexander and Jerry Romaine and Kenny Lal Singh and all of these folks who were in prison without a trial, without a charge, I don't think you could ask them to cry on that day. So those are some of the areas that I disagree with them. But I hold no hate towards him. But I disagree with him politically and some of his policies.
Right.
I'm willing to sit with anyone and discuss the areas of our agreement without calling names and insults and all of that. Let us have a clean, decent, ideological and philosophical conversation about our differences. I disagree with him with the economy. I disagree with him on the marketing board. I disagree with him on interfering with the Constitution, with the pledge, and so on and so on. And I could go on and.
But among all the disagreement, and I understand there are plenty, it's a long list of disagreements.
But it's not hate.
Right. But is there anything that you agree with?
Yes, I agree with him when he increased on the salary for parliamentarians, because I once tried to move a motion in the parliament, which I call the Parliamentarian Freedom Act, because I think it was absurd for a parliamentarian to be working for $1,200 a month, and you have the same duties as someone in government. You have to go to the funerals, you have to dress, you have to go in parliament and all that. I think that was ridiculous, and I think that is a good thing that he did when he increased on the salaries of all parliamentarians. I had called for that a long time. I said, give all parliamentarians a salary they could live on, so they could live in dignity across the board, and those who in government, they could get a duty allowance. So we agree on that. I agree with him too on the minimum wage. I think that with the high cost of living, we ought to find ways to satisfy and to care for the people on the bottom of of the economic ladder, because they too are hurting. So I agree with him on that. But so there are some areas where I agree with him. Maybe time permit, we may be able to ventilate some of those disagreements today. But as I said, I hold no animosity towards him. I've met him several times. We spoke friendly with each other. I mean, it's not in a violent way or a spiteful way, and not the same thing with my dear friend here. Even my friend Kem Jones, even though you hear him bashing me on the radio, when I and Kem Jones meet, we'll find the nearest little spot and we will have a little we will have a shop singer. We'll sit down and we'll have a drink and we'll laugh, and we wouldn't even discuss politics at the time.
Right. Right.
And that's the nature of the thing. I think there have to be more civility in our politics. If we have to pass on any sort of examples to our children, how could we go on hating people like that because they disagree with you? I mean, when the NNP was in power, let's face it, that level of hate was never there. People free to they demonstrate, they say what they want, they call in on the radio, and we had some nice political discussion. Sometimes I seek out opponents, people I disagree with, to have a conversation with them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So Ian, a lot said there. What's your thoughts?
Well, no, the comment is correct. The truth about it, I wouldn't find myself hating or fighting for a difference in philosophy, because the truth is I have quite a lot of friends that may support something that I don't support, and we could still sit and have a discussion. But in recent times, and I wouldn't say in just this period, it has been lingering for quite a while, and it's something that we should really try to move away from, and try to build the country together. Because at the end of the day, just as you see our comrade anti-NDC now in some of the policies, as he pointed out, I remember 5-6 years ago he was anti-NNP in some of the policies. So the thing about politics, you could end up on any side of the fence at any time. Yes, nobody is built or in a prominent position when it comes to politics, as it relates to all local politics here, because last election, some people probably voted for NNP. This coming election, they may just decide, you know what, I would vote for NDC. So if we continue to marginalize and alienate what could be considered potential voters, the country wouldn't grow. Sometimes the wrong party end up winning because of the supporters fighting with supporters on the ground. So if we could kind of simmer down the hatred and the aggressive, antagonistic behavior a little bit, it is important too, because we have to draw the line to know, who's supporting what, and we have to kind of keep the banter going. But once you cross in the territory of hate and disrespect and these things, it's kind of played out.
Right.
We should look to a new horizon to kind of build the country, because I could make some assumptions here. I'm certain that Michael Baptiste might just decide later on, as the years go by, within the next year and a half, he may decide, you know what, NDC is correct, I would give them my full support.
That's a big laugh, boy.
and I know you that's a dream, but I like that. I mean, but you have to convince me why, and then there's a whole lot of things that.
But Michael, you know what's crazy? You know what's really crazy? I remember, right? How I met you politically and understood your story then was a conversation that we had when you contacted me and you wanted to tell your story as what NNP did to you about your vehicles. All right. And the program was not a love fest with NNP. In fact, you spoke strongly against the MP for that constituency at the time, Baden Hosford, right? What changed? When did you become such a lover of they don't support NDC, so you just fall on the side of the worst, the best of the worst?
No. You made a valid point here, and it's incumbent upon me to address that.
Right.
The differences with Diane Bain have not really gone away. I have some philosophical differences with her. I thought that was some injustice. I don't think we had to stoop to that. I think we should be broad-minded enough that if someone says something about you, I mean, look, The only thing people have not said about me during my political career is like I'm a child of God. That's the only thing I can't recall they saying. You can't be that thin-skinned that someone says something about you and you run into the courts to deprive someone, of all of that. But I am not somebody that hold grudges and hatred. I had issues with Dr. Mitchell. I mean, we brutally disagreed over the years to the point where I was arrested twice. We had differences in a lot of areas. But should I go on hating now? No. As I look at it now, I look at the government, I look at the policies, and I realize that this NDC government, in my opinion, is 10 times worse than what I was opposing. And I said, my God, just when I thought that the situation was bad then, look at it as now. It is not just bad, it is insulting. I mean, here I am watching Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell asking folks to take out his light and shine in favor of Maurice Bishop because Maurice Bishop left us a free Grenada. And to me, it's like he's taking a knife and he's pushing it in my side because I was in exile during 79 to 83. And I knew what would happen to me if I returned to Grenada. I had folks who died and could not attend their funeral. I had sick families home. My adopted parents were there, and I was praying to God, Lord, may they hold up till things break, that I could visit them and be by their side. So when I hearing his utterances like that, I mean, it just pushed me off my feet, and I said, I can't believe this guy. A man who arrested Grenadians, put them in prison without a charge, without a trial. He dismantled the Constitution. You could not assemble. You could not voice an opinion. Newspaper down. All of this down. And here you're telling me that he left us a free Grenada. And when he took over in 79, he promised to do better. Because, of course, they had some excesses by Uncle, which they articulate and they say they will do better. But when they get in here, they turn out to be 10 times worse than what people could even imagine. So there it is. Some of the policies that he started pushing, I just cannot support that in no kind of way. There's no way I could support a government that would take Bishop picture and stick on a 50th anniversary note, knowing the struggle that Uncle Gary went through to get independence, knowing how much Maurice Bishop tried to disrupt our independence, knowing what happened then, right, and watching today a government glorifying him and giving him praises that he does not deserve.
But let me ask you, Michael, do you travel on the Maurice Bishop International Highway?
Well,
do you travel on the Maurice Bishop Airport?
Yes, I travel there. But that, let me tell you, as a little boy, you're coming so good. I was in short pants.
Right.
I think 15, 16 years old when Expo 69 came in. And I was a student at, I was a student then at Technical Institute. And Uncle Gary recruited some of us young fellas to go down and work in Expo 69 with a company from Trinidad that was doing stage lighting and all that, because he wanted to give us that exposure. That road was built for Expo 69. How in earth anybody could name it Maurice Bishop Highway?
Do you still have hatred in your heart for the administration that named the highway? And do you still travel transverse on that highway? Do you take a by road?
I don't hate them, but I believe it is a way to distort our history like everything else, even the airport.
Right, but there, at some point in time, you get over things, because I'm sure
that.
You accepted it, right?
Yeah.
You accepted it, and you move on.
And I move on with that.
Right.
I have not yet moved on with Bishop's picture on the $50 note.
Okay.
And I have not yet moved on with October 19th as Heroes Day. I have not yet moved on with the Prime Minister asking we, especially the Garyites, to be solemn on that day when Bishop died. I have not moved on to that yet.
Right. I like how you say yet, because time is the change of everything.
Time
eh?
heals, yeah.
Time heals. Time heals wounds.
Yes, but we're going good so far. We're going
Yeah,
good.
we keep very respectful. We are cussing. We don't argue. We go in nice. So I want to touch on the rally, right? But before we go into to the rally and the talk of the rally, I want to go back on the fact that we ourselves, and Michael, I don't know if you want to include yourself in this conversation here, are a part of the media or the social media or people that have influence that sort of use our voice sometimes, not to curb or not to bring or not to suppress certain anger, but I think sometimes I see posts and I see your response and I feel like it looks as if it's antagonizing, and it could be antagonizing, and it could create more antagonization and hatred and frustration. So are you taking blame for some of the frustration and the anger that happens on social media, especially as it has to do with political conversation on Mac platform?
Being a specialist in electrical technology, we usually say there's tolerance in everything, whether it's in voltage or whether it's in ohms or watts. There's always a tolerance.
Right.
And maybe we should have some human tolerance as well. And we had to employ that tolerance a little higher than normal in disseminating and maybe looking at things that is not always pleasing to us. I mean, I watched some posts by NDC supporters, and I respond sometimes, but I don't respond in anger. I respond based on how I see it. Sometimes philosophically, I may differ from what they are espousing, but it's never with anger, because I don't know of anybody that I hate. Seriously, I can't recall anyone that I hate. And as we speak now, I have no enemies. Serious, I have no enemies.
Right.
Life is as such where you get to the stage where things happen, you meet, you discuss it, and you move on. And a lot of folks wonder, how is it now that I and Dr. Mitchell could meet and sit and talk about nations? Very easy, because we have something in common.
Yes.
And what we have in common is the opposition to the National Democratic Congress.
Right.
And of course, so I would have no problem.
Many people would say over one singular topic, Gary.
Well, more than one.
Okay.
More than one. But his economic policies, dismantling of the dissolving of the marketing board, his benign neglect to the rural economy and agriculture, making statements without getting some technical background as to the contents of what he's saying. Like,
stick a pin there. I don't mean to cut you. Remember your train of thought, right? Dismantling marketing board. Marketing board was losing a lot of money. There was bleeding money into marketing board.
You sure you want to talk about that?
Well, my brother, we could talk about it.
All right. So our hospital is losing money. Gravel and Concrete were losing money at some time. The Ministry of Education is not just losing money; we're spending a lot of money there.
Well, the Ministry of Education is not set up as a for-profit business.
Right. Well, I understand, but we spend a lot of money there.
Well, if
If
you
we,
spend money
if
to
we,
educate the population, it's
if
not,
we,
it's not
if we
spending money,
want
it's an
to, if
investment. It's an investment.
our hospitals, we
Uh-huh.
charge sometimes for small fees there. If we start looking at it from where we're losing money, then we should close down the
No,
hospital.
because you see, the thing about it is the hospital and the school. Let's look at it. Let's look at education. Education is not set up to make an income or revenue from it from sending kids to school. The big effect, the major effect, right, is investment in the youth, in the population, so that they would be an educated population, and the amount of things that they would go out and do and bring back, it's even far surpass the
Well,
little investment that you make it.
you've made a point to strengthen the point that I was making. Well, obviously, you invest in education for the for future consideration of the young people. You invest in marketing board because of food security, because the rural community, because it creates employment, and it puts food on the table. It cuts down on our huge food import bill. So it's not always about money. You're in the United States. You and I understand how the Department of Agriculture operates. Sometimes they pay people not to grow crops. They pay the tobacco farmers in the Midwest not to grow, and they pay them. There's things called subsidy, but it have to be sensible subsidy. What
Right,
is our contribution to agriculture? I
right.
mean, we give millions in the tourism sector because we want that product. We want the tourism dollar to come in and circulate. So too is agriculture. Agriculture and the marketing board is directly proportional.
Right. I'll give Django a chance to come in here, but we could dive a lot more into that whole topic. Django, I know you was absent for the conversation for a bit. I don't want to hog the whole thing.
No. The truth is, I'm paying attention too, because you see some of the things that Michael would expound on may be things that we probably overlooked as being younger in terms of the 1979 period and so forth. But going back to marketing board in particular, I believe personally, the latter part of marketing board was completely misguided. One thing that showed me that the leadership and the direction the marketing board was going is about to crash was when they went and took that building, that RBTT building in Grenville, right about 100 yards away from the newly constructed Market Square, to sell the same products that the farmers in the market was selling at an increased price. When I saw that, I said, well, these people really have to be crazy people, because we have a brand new Market Square in Grenville and less than 100 yards away. We said we want to buy a building, buy the produce from the farmers that are selling in the market, and come and sell it in the market in boarding Grenville at a markup.
Well, what
No
you have
logic
said,
whatsoever.
what you have said is correct, but we have to restructure it. We can't leave it so.
Well, that is, I
Well,
think that was
that's what
the
it's doing,
intent of the
isn't it?
government, because you see, to restructure too, you have to draw back and see where you went wrong, because I understand from my investigation, marketing board was losing just about $1 million a month. And added to that, knowing the nature of the business, if the administrative people within the marketing board had any vision, they could too probably have invested in a farm of their own, not to cut out farmers, but to probably just invest in pigs. So instead of wasting $1 million a month, you feed pigs $1 million a month. So you have livestock where you could have transferred that financing into something else.
Well, on
But
that
you're
line,
taking $1 million a month and you're dumping it in the back of marketing board, and this was crazy.
that
You couldn't
is
continue
why
like
I
that.
said that is why I said it calls for restructuring. It calls for discussion and get ideas of how we could move forward. I mean, you're telling me marketing board is losing $1 million. I mean, you're preaching to the converted. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm quite comfortable with it. As leader of the opposition, I pointed out on many occasions that, look, marketing board is buying sugar and rice. They're crediting the sugar and rice from suppliers. They're selling it to the shopkeepers. The shopkeepers are paying them cash. The shopkeepers are making a profit,
And the state can make a
and
profit.
yet they can't pay the bills. So there's problems at the top. I said that 1,000,000 times. I am not saying that there was not problems, but just because there's problems, we don't dissolve it. We sit down and together we fix it, we struggle it. we structure it, and we give it a new terms of reference. Have you ever thought that? Look at what we do with the poultry. We import millions of dollars of poultry in the country. Marketing board could have been used in a way as to processing a feed meal, given every rural community, giving them chicks. They're bringing it back live. They get their check. They go back. They process. Or fishermen buying the fish from the fish that not exportable. We process it. We do salt fish, and we do all of that, and we market it locally. There's need for an institution like Marketing Board to work along with farmers and fisher folks in the interest of our rural communities. I am not telling you its present form was not meeting such, but we don't dissolve. Every time we have a problem, and that is one of my problems there with the Prime Minister. It seems as if every time we have a problem, we dissolve it. We have a problem in the hospital. So
let me ask you a question, Michael.
So,
are you okay with the previous administration saying, you know what, we're losing this money every single month, but we're not going to stop and figure out what the problem is, or halt and see what the problem is. We'll continue to do it. We're just going to continue to do the same thing. Are you okay with that approach?
No, you see, we have problems in Grenada. When a new party gets into office, they see the problem from the outside, and they make representation that they're gonna fix it.
Right.
You cannot reference what happened under the old government.
Yeah, there's a problem with this situation being resolved now. Did you have
there's a problem with Marketing Board.
Right.
And we need to gather all the stakeholders and find a new direction.
Right.
We just can't dissolve it. And then what he said was he dissolved it in the first 6 months. He dissolved it, and the thing sound so cynical, as if Marketing Board was on his grievance list, because he did represent in his private capacity, he represented a client against Marketing Board, and he was not successful. So in his first 6 months, it appears as if Marketing Board was on his grievance list. So immediately he chopped it and he closed it, and he said, "You'll come in 6 months." This was 3.5 years later. And then you're returning and saying to the nation that I cannot move forward with a new entity that I have established because I do not have the records of the old one. And to me, that's not making much sense, because one of the first things that you ought to do is to do that check. You ought to hire, you have an accounting firm, and see what's going on inside there before you go ahead and establish a new one. But you went ahead, you didn't do that. You didn't investigate to see why we're losing and how much we're losing. You dissolve it, you went ahead, you form a new one, and you get stuck with the new one. You're coming back and you're blaming the problems of the old one, why the new ones can.
Well, I don't know if that is what's happening.
Maybe we should just skip that and just move on, because I'm sure there's a lot more that.
Yeah. But I think what you're saying is the same thing that Ian is saying. It's kind of like what I'm trying to say. If there's a problem with an entity, for instance, if I see a problem at my home that electricity bill is killing my pocket, I would stop, pause, and figure out what is happening. Like, who's thieving my electricity and converting it to their home? And I had to figure out the problem. And that might cause me to stop, pause, figure it out, and change my course of action. I don't know, that's what the government say that they're doing now, but you're against that. Nonetheless, there are many other things that you differ on, right? In fact, we're going to talk a little bit about the... Ian, you want to say anything that before we kind of change gears a bit?
I think we might have to use the analogy of the human body.
Right.
Yes, Marketing Board is the human body which was stabbed multiple times and it was bleeding out. What we do? We leave it to bleed and die, or we cover the wounds, try to resuscitate the body, and get that body functioning again. So it's the simplest of analogies we could use.
We don't destroy it, we fix it.
Well, destroy, fix. Sometimes you have to brick to build, sometimes you have to build to brick.
We fix it and we restructure it. And That is
Yeah,
where transformation.
we
That is where
define words here, but the truth is,
no,
fixing
well,
it would require some sort of pause or some sort of halt or step back.
all
And that
right.
is exactly what the government did. They paused on it, they pulled back, and they had to restructure, go back to the drawing board to get a new entity to replace, because the services is critical to our survival, you know. The
Yeah, but
commercial services that the marketing would provide
you see,
is critical and essential for
you
our
see,
survival. So
my dear friend, the thing has become so laughable now is that you kill the old one. You said you're coming with a new one. You came in with a new one, and now you're telling us you're not getting the investors. So, in other words, you did not put together some kind of projection to sell to new investors that they could invest in it. So you're falling back now and you're blaming the old entity why your new entity can't move forward. And I'm saying before you do all of that, you should have done all your checks and balances. You should have.
no, I beg to differ, because you see,
You should have get a financial report.
I beg to differ. Let me tell you
Why
I differ. Let me tell you why I differ.
How did you know? How did you know you were losing $1 million if you never did a financial report?
You would know every year you have to give them $12 million, and
Yeah,
you can't
but
say anything for it. So that is simple. That is simple. But I beg to differ in terms of, you see, you could put a product on the market, yes,
yeah.
but you cannot guarantee people would purchase. So if the government of Grenada placed the marketed new entity for investors to come in, and investors decide they want to go into another sector, I don't see anything wrong with that. People may not be interested in that based on the past performance of the board. So that is the investors doing their due diligence and try to be cautious. Because when you invest, you expect to get a return. If I have to invest in a business and I hear the old business was losing $1 million a month, I'm skeptical too. I am very skeptical too.
There's some things government must subsidize.
Well, agriculture is heavily subsidized. If you look at fertilizer, every input to agriculture is on subsidy. You know? Every input.
Right.
Every input from transportation, inputs to plants, to everything is subsidized.
Marketing board was established since Uncle Gary.
Right.
When the PRG came in, they added marketing and importing onto it, and it worked well with many administrations, and they recognized what they needed to do. And now this administration came, and within the first 6 months, they dissolved it. And they gave the farmers all the assurance that they will come with something in 6 months. And so far, they have not been able to come up with something. But as I said, this is a long, drawn-out discussion, and I'm not so sure we want to waste.
Right. Okay. All right. Good point. Let's take a quick call. We got a caller on the line. Let's take a quick call. Caller, where are you calling us from?
Good night, Junior. Good night to your panel. Michael Baptist.
How are you doing, Specky?
Yeah, what? The voice, man.
You're a legend, you know. You're not a hero yet, but you're a legend.
I want you to clear up certain things, because I understand your anger towards the rebel. I and all know the rebel made a lot of mistakes. I talked to almost everybody that was involved. As I told people before, I almost get killed on the foot because I left school and go and demonstrate. But that is not the point I'm trying to raise. I was a little boy during Gary time. Not any more sense. I stand up by Sotters, the old police station, when they overthrew him. I didn't even know who was Gary. I only see a white flag go up in the air, surrender, I see choke come with people. But learning things over the years, I don't think everything is true. But in Gary regime, like the Mongoose gang or Gary people, whatsoever name we want to call them, and they kill Bishop, and Bishop and them head was flushing toilet water, and they beat them by Selwyn Strand, just to name a few. I mean, I heard so much wrong things about Gary and the Mongoose gang. I don't think everything is true, because in politics, people spread rumors. Well, once you're a public figure, people spread rumors on you. So I don't think everything is true. But as old people say, with every action, there is a reaction. So what I'm saying, I want to know, like, if all them thing about the Mongoose gang was true, and I feel the Gary had mistakes, the revolution had mistakes. Both of them was terrible, and both of them had good in them. At least me.
Well, what I would say to that, we as Grenadians should make a pledge to the next generation that never again should we transcend to that type of brutality against each other. And as I said earlier, we need to be more tolerant of each other. And I think that is when things fell apart. Let us charter a new day. Both Uncle Gary and revolution is behind us. Let us leave a Grenada, better Grenada for our children. Let us see if we could reinvent the togetherness that we once had when we all was our neighbors' keepers. And we defer an election, but when the election was over, we would still get a piece of fire or send a piece of food to our neighbor. We meet each other in the street. I pray to see the day when that will end in Grenada, when a political party is in power and they serve all the people. When I hear statements like the reason why the others are getting is because we don't know who you are, that is not in the best interest of unity. I believe when you're campaigning, you're a political party, but after you win and you're governing, you should be the government of all the people. And yes, the fowls in the yard must eat first, and sometimes they have to eat a little more. But we have to be mindful that we are all Grenadians, and we should do it in a way that we serve all the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique.
Well, Michael, when you look at these utterances by political figures, right, and you see and hear the utterance on both sides, I'm not saying that they are right, but sometimes I look over, because I'm sometimes subject of some of the conversation,
Right.
and I hear political leader, opposition leader talking about, making utterances about people who are gay or learn to people that are, that are, what is the correct term? I don't want to use the inappropriate term. But he made a statement about gays, and then I don't know who he's directly referring to, but then all his supporters started to attack everybody else and making big memes about their supporters and pictures going all over the place. Did you agree with that? Did you speak out about that?
No. Watch me. A person's sexual orientation should not be anybody's business. Okay? I believe we should draw the line between a person's sexual orientation, their families, and all of that.
But you didn't speak out about it, of course. You didn't come out and say that was wrong, or you didn't.
Well, listen to me. I live a lot of years in the United States, where I have more or less developed a lot of tolerance for people who are indifferent. And we have to. We live among the Jews, we live among Africans, we live among Portuguese and people of different denomination, especially in New York, being a cosmopolitan state. The days for discriminating against people are all over. In the United States, it's legal to be gay. In Grenada now, there's people stigmatize each other because of their behavior and all of that. I have no problem with someone, an elected official, being gay, as long as he does not use his sexual orientation to impress upon or to involve others or to force others in his way of life.
We're not saying that any person is gay, and I'm not saying that any person is gay, but he made that utterance claiming, right, to his supporters, and his supporters took up on it and they ran with it, right? But I did not see a massive outcry. Like even if the community is made up of LGBTQ people as well, they are Grenadians just the same, if that is the case. So just as you saying that you cannot rule for one particular people or one particular side, similarly, when the same thing is happening on the other side, I don't see the outcry. I don't see the social media post that says you shouldn't say something like that about a fellow Grenadian.
Well, do you think also that it is not appropriate to be calling him grandpa, and all of that. I mean, all of us with a certain age, we will have children, and they would have children. We automatically, why all the nicknames? And sometimes the nicknames come in high places. I think we have to cease and desist and respect each other for who we are. The fact that I disagree.
What about the other side calling the other side little children?
Well,
So
if you
it's disrespect all around.
listen to me, you see, if we start the tit for tat, we cannot end anyway. What I'm saying is that.
But if you
Where do we stop? Where do we stop? Where do we draw the line?
Where do we draw the line? If you are senior, I would look to my senior for guidance. I would look to one of my senior for guidance. So if you have a senior playing in the mud, right? You're not setting an example.
Well, look, we have so many important issues to ventilate.
Yeah.
A person's sexual orientation at the age should be the least problem. As far as I see it in America, people cherish older people because older people is gold. In America, the doctors don't want an elderly person to die because when they die, they lose income. That elderly person provides 3 full-time jobs, 8-hour jobs for a caregiver. In Grenada, it may be different. Maybe they're wishing for that person to die because of the situation is different, because they need the bed or becomes a burden on all of that. So we have to be tolerant, whether it is age or whether it is sexual orientation or whether it's the color of your skin. I mean, I remember when I was growing up a little boy, people used to call people, "You're black," or "You have big lips," or "You have big nose," and all of that, and all of that. Look, let us stick with the issues. And the issues, there are so many. Every day in Grenada, we generate new issues. And I find in the name calling, even on social media, instead of attacking the message, they attack the messenger. Why can't we have serious debate? If I post something and I said, "Look, this is how I see it," why can't you give a dissenting opinion and say, "I disagree with you, and here is why I disagree with you"? But they don't do so. They come out and they attack the messenger. And that to me has been the modus operandi of supporters of this government. They become hostile now. Even in your earlier presentation, you're hearing now that you're begging them now to behave as if I care. But for me, I really don't care one way or the other.
Yeah.
I am trained for that sort of thing.
And this is a respectful platform. We respect everyone.
Well, in most cases, they don't. They call your names, they write stuff. As a matter of fact, earlier, I heard some woman by name, some Thomas woman, talking about my buildings and all of that. And I'm wondering, well, how she get involved in that? It's not in foreclosure. It doesn't owe anyone. Here I am talking about a national issue, but she jump on my properties.
Right.
You understand? And I think we as people in the social media, we have to set the example. Let us stick with the issues. Let us stick with the issues. Are you there?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
And if let us attack the issues viciously,
Right.
all right, and leave out. Let us attack the message and not the messenger, and we would have a better Grenada.
All right.
There's some look. Something happened recently in government where they changed the government. They removed the pledge from the Constitution.
Yeah.
Okay? And now people are taking a position based on a party that they like. And I am saying that it is wrong.
When you say they remove the pledge from the country, hold on, Michael.
When they no longer pledge to the king, to Her Majesty and her.
Hold on. That's not a correct statement. But hold on 1 second. Let's take a quick call. Caller, where are you calling us from?
Hello.
Hi, caller. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Grenada.
Yes, caller, go right ahead. They will hear you,
Okay.
but you cannot hear them. So make your statement and
No
listen to
problem.
their response.
So I have a question for Mr. Bati.
Uh-huh.
Yes?
Yes.
He said that about calling people grandpa and so, yeah? This grandpa thing, if my memory serves me right, is the opposition leader, the then opposition leader, that stated that he is the grandfather of the house and they should have respect for grandpa. So it's not like anybody on the other side called him grandpa. He said that he's grandpa himself. Right? So I would like Mr. Baptiste to take back his statement about calling people grandpa. The second thing I have for Mr. Baptiste is in connection with, I don't know if that is the topic though, in connection with the vehicles purchased by the government for the constituencies, the ministers of the constituencies, yes? Mm-hmm. When the Prime Minister, when the previous opposition leader stood up and said that he doesn't want the vehicle, not now, not never, or whatever the rest of it was, yes? Mm-hmm. Saying that on national television, yes, when they know for a fact that a meeting was held and discussion and the decision was made, why is he doing that, yes? These are the things we should be talking about. The disrespect. Yeah? This is what I can't put up with. Disrespect. Calling people little boy and children. We don't have children in Parliament. We have adults and big people. And I rest my case.
All right. Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Michael, don't respond yet because we have another caller on the phone line and we want to give them an opportunity to ventilate as well. Caller on the phone line, go right ahead.
Hello, good night, Mr. Rylan. How are you doing?
Good.
Right. Michael Baptiste. What I want to tell him, I cannot tell him on the air.
Yeah, we are a respectful family program. We are a respectful family program.
Yes, I said I cannot tell him on the air.
Well, I tell you, caller, if what you're going to tell me, hold on. If you want to tell me, you can tell me on the air. I'm always on the road. I'm always in the shop.
All right, Michael. Let you speak and then, yeah. Go ahead, caller.
Michael Baptiste is supposed to be the last person in Grenada as a Grenadian coming on a platform and speaking like that. I'm from St. Andrews. Michael Baptiste was the same one who put all kind of thing in front of a building in Simon to be for people not to sell the same for people. Michael Baptiste, you're supposed to be the last person coming on the national TV and speak. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
What the caller said here, I believe, is laced with innuendos, lies, and it seems as if he has a personal vendetta against your humble servant. I have a young lady selling in front of that building for over 25 years, and she do so at my pleasure. I have a young man from Santopi Street that come there every Saturday and sell their clothes uninterrupted. So I don't know what you're talking about. Now, you just can't come and set up in front of my place without my permission. And if that's what you're talking about, you need to have some respect and respect people's property. If you chose to set up in front of my place, you must get my permission. I cannot come in front of your house and set up to do anything in front of your house. And this is what this is where the breakdown in the society comes in. If Junior has a building here and I want to do a little hustle in front of Junior, I just can't go and open up a tent and come in front of Junior, please. I must tell Junior, look, Junior, can I please do a little hustle? There's a young lady, and Django, you could attest to that. Don't you see Annie selling there for the last 25 years?
Every day. I'm not sure if it's 25 years, but I know she's been there for a while.
Right. Yeah. So, and the other youths in Santa Bishop, as a matter of fact, they ask me for lights, and I tell them, sure, no problems. I'd be happy to do so. But you just can't come into my compound and just start selling like that. You're out of order.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's take a caller on the WhatsApp and caller live on the WhatsApp. Go right ahead.
Right. Just heard they speaking about disrespect. However, let us go to the NMP persons that is being paid, people like Ziggy and so. Ziggy is one of the most disrespectful NMP supporter there is. He will call people dog and slut and whatever else what names he will call people. So when we're speaking about disrespect and about the government, let us speak generally opposition and government if you want to speak like that. Right? Then we heard Mr. Batty speak about land based on his posts and so land in Dunfermline and land here and whatever. Let us have the proof. What you saying is true. NNP is the most supporters, is the most disrespectful people now when it comes to politics. Right? And yellow is the code. Thank you.
All right, caller. Yeah, Mike, you can respond, and then we have another.
Well, before I even respond, for the benefit of the audience, let me hasten to say, I am not here representing NNP. Okay? I am here in my capacity as Michael Battis. Now, the lady raised the question about the lands and proof. Lady, I don't know if you're living in a cave. I don't know, you must be living in a cave if you say you're living in St. Andrews. What proof do I have to have? Don't you know that there's a Dunfermline housing project? Don't you know that? Don't you drive through Dunfermline and see all the hundreds of houses that was built there? It was built there under the NNP. Colin Imbert construction from Trinidad built the houses there for the NNP. The lands was acquired from Fayonac. What proof you want me to do? You want me to run home or go to the registry and show you all the documents? The proof is there. There is an existing project going on in Dunfermline. Django, aren't you aware of that?
What I believe is the issue. I believe the issue is the comparison. Because the houses that was built in the 90s, the first set of houses from the housing project, and what is being proposed now by the Project 500, you could see there's a vast
You're going
difference.
Too far. We're not talking about comparison. We are talking about existing. Hold on.
I'm just saying it seems that
no. I am not talking about. We're not making comparison. Wait.
What we're doing now.
Hold on. Let you finish, and then you make your point.
So you have to understand, because you see, the politics has become.
But the young lady ain't talking comparison.
Sensationalization phase. What we are seeing now for the Project 500, to the average Grenadian, the low-income Grenadian, the middle class, it's something that is of quality. You understand what I'm saying to you? So the previous houses, they may appear to be low-income houses with cheap construction, regular gable roof, slim walls, no insulation, no modern touch to it. So I understand where the caller and the viewers are coming from. They are seeing the Project 500 as a new project. I am well aware that the lands was bought from Fayonac for $1 and Miss Roslyn complained, or didn't even done PDM of land yet. There's a whole nother issue. There's a whole next issue. Yes? So we have to understand what we're dealing with. The people are seeing something that is of almost international quality. When I went there and I looked at the quality of the house, I too was shocked, knowing that governments don't normally build those quality of houses for the regular citizen. Those houses are supposed to be built by the homeowner by themselves to invest in porcelain tiles and all kind of fancy things. If you look at the display, the interior, the paint, the quality of the work is exceptional. So I understand where the caller is calling from. They've seen a difference in the quality. Going back to the original agreement with the acquisition of the land and to agree to pay Mr. Nayaka, Mrs. Nayaka $1 square foot for the how many acres that was taken. I know about it. I heard about it. I understand that. So both parties, both governments played their role, but what the new government is doing is taking it a notch higher. Yes, because at the end of the day, I remember when I was doing philosophy, there's a saying that we are standing on the shoulders of our giants, and that is exactly what this government is doing. The lands were already acquired. They're giving the people quality houses. Look, compare that. Let's get an old picture, a picture of the existing houses in Dunfermline, and you can see it's a vast difference. So we're adding quality to the lives of the people. And we should commend the government for doing that. We should commend the past, or whosoever it is, acquire the lands, and Ms. Rosalind and them get the money, and whatever it is have to happen, happens.
Right.
The caller made no, the caller did not state about comparison now. The caller asking me to show proof that the lands were purchased by the former government. You've gone into a whole tirade about comparison with construction. I am
Well,
not.
hold on.
If
the people ain't get the money, the land then purchase it.
I believe you had your time to explain. If you want to take a piece in mind again, feel free.
Yes. Go ahead.
The question here is, the present government cannot lay claim as that part of their vision. That's what I'm saying. I am saying here that it was the vision of the former government to not acquire the lands, but to purchase the lands. And you're wrong when you said they acquired. They didn't acquire. They purchased the lands from Fayonaya. And they built low-income housing there. And people are living there as low-income owners. So when you're talking about this 500, you're talking as if it is something that you have created. The lands were purchased, houses were built, there's excess lands there for improvement. After this government would have demit office, there would be more lands. I am not a supporter of the shabby work that was done there, so I'm not comparing what was going on then there. Well, a lot of this thing here was built like foul cubes. I'm not. But with that's not the issue at hand. The issue at hand is the project belongs to the former government. They saw the need to buy lands and build low-income houses. And when they're talking about building more low-income houses for people, it begs the question. You have houses in La Colombe. You have yet to dispose of them. You have houses in Carriacou that was built by the Chinese. You have yet to dispose of them. And you heard the Minister of Housing displaying a key in her hand and telling low-income people that they must come with 90, if they want the key, come with $90,000 and collect one of them. And that was the point I was making. I was making the point that this government have made no provisions for low-income housing.
Do you believe in government is a continuum?
Do I believe that? It is a continuum. I don't have to believe that. It's
all
a
right, so okay. As you made that point, as you say that, I'm just going into now, land purchase with the original vision for the design of the house that was done previously. Do you see that as vision in the 21st century going beyond? The same fall could be just talk about.
Well,
you think this government should continue?
As time goes on.
No, hold on. You think this government should continue to design the same fall coups you just spoke about? As part of, so the land was acquired, the land was purchased by a previous administration.
We have to improve.
Well, exactly the point. So
we
the land
have
was
to
purchased
improve.
by the new National Party.
Listen to me. It is not about going back to what you had. That was poor design, poorly constructed, and so
poor vision, bad vision.
No, not bad vision. Don't include vision, because the vision have nothing to do with the construction. Okay?
Well, the vision is where the construction comes from.
You had bad contractors doing shabby work. Let's pray that the new houses that they're building now on the lands that were purchased by the new National Party is of better quality, better constructed than what was built then. I don't have a problem in saying that. But I don't want you to come and say that the Project 500 is a brainchild of and the vision of the Prime Minister, and he must espouse on that in a rally. I'm saying no.
He should. I agree that he should expound, because you see, let me tell you something. The vision to build 500 houses for Grenadian people, whether or not the land was already purchased or not, the vision to build 500 houses and commit to that vision is something that is commendable. The gentleman designed in his head. They created a new department. They employed new people. They designed new houses because of a vision that the Prime Minister had. The former Prime Minister had his own vision to purchase the lands and to do what? So the vision is important. The vision to
listen to
ensure
me,
that we're
listen to me.
providing
The-
good quality houses
the-
for the Grenadian
The
people.
vision was
started
to provide
with the
low-income
Honorable
housing for people.
Deacon
Period.
Mitchell.
Well, let me ask you. I mean, can this government initiate a project on their own? I mean, there are several areas that need low-income housing.
Project Polaris is a project of the government, is another brainchild of the government.
Project what?
Polaris.
Project what?
Polaris.
You want to jump on that?
Yes.
Hold on.
That is an NDC project.
Before we jump on that, we have a caller on the line. Been waiting for quite a long time, so let's jump to that caller.
See, that's why I love you so much, you know.
Hold on. Caller, where are you calling us from?
Yes.
Yeah, hi, caller on the WhatsApp. Hold on 1 second. Caller on the phone line. Go right ahead. Yes, yes, you caller. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller on the phone line.
Yes, I'm calling from St. George's. No, I just want to address Mr. Baptiste. You know, I mean, I'm a young Grenadian, and I've been listening to Mr. Baptiste over the years, you know, since the early days of the NNP administration. And I really, you know, used to believe that he was a man who really loved his country. But as time goes by, you know, and I see, you know, the stance he takes, you know, and the things that he, you know, he says and does, I come to the point now that he's nothing more than just an opportunist, because I would not be surprised if later on down in the couple years to come he will be on the platform of the movement, you know, going against the same NNP and the same NDC, you know, and I think he just needs to get his priorities right. And at this point, I have no confidence, and I just cannot trust him anymore with the things that he says. Thank you.
All right, caller. Thank you so much. We'll give him an opportunity to respond in a quick bit. But let's just take this other caller on the phone line, and then we'll get the response from Michael Baptiste. Caller, live. Where are you calling us from? Call on the WhatsApp. Go right ahead.
Oh, not from Toronto.
Toronto, go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling to say this. Michael Baptiste seemed to be talking on both sides of his mouth, because sometimes if something is not in agreement with him,
Yeah, just turn on your TV so you don't get that feedback. Just turn on your TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Michael Baptiste is saying things on both sides of his mouth. Because just a while ago, when Ian was talking, he said, you know, well, we don't need to go back there. We need to be going otherwise forward with things. So it doesn't make sense to focus on the things of the past, right? When Ian was bringing up things about Gary, someone was bringing up things about Gary. Now, seconds after that, he brought up the past. The past was good for him then. Michael Baptiste always speaks with both sides of his mouth. To me, it doesn't make sense sometimes even seeing him on the show, because it shows very clearly that Michael Baptiste has a lot of contempt for the NDC, especially Deacon Mitchell. He spoke about what Maurice Bishop did and didn't do, but he polished what Gary did. I was in Gary days. I was going to SAS as a boy, and Gary did a lot of to students. I remember going down to St. George's. There was a protest or a demonstration there, and they allowed the police to add tear gas to water in the fire brigades and sprayed us down. That was the first time I ever went by GBSS, because we had to run. Some of us run from downtown, from the Market Square to GBSS. Michael Baptiste wants to talk about this police officer from Lafayette, Respect and Wendy Martin, right? They were murdered by the Mongoose gang. Everybody knows that. Mr. Forrester's house was burnt down. So Michael Baptiste only says things that is in his pocket. He's not fair with what he is saying. He just answered Ian saying, yes, government is a continuance. Okay? So, okay, NNP purchased the land.
Thank you.
That was the vision, as he said. Let's purchase the land. But it is the vision of this government to build Project 500. It is a vision. The land is there. And when he says it's NNP that purchased the land, people like Michael Batiste always would say something like that. If NDC says something like that, they would say, well, no, it's the government's money. It's not it's not NDC. How come it is NNP that purchased it? It is the people of Grenada that purchased the land, and the land was there. And they decided to do Project 500. We stay here in the diaspora, we look at the buildings, we look at the quality, we look at the standard of those things. And he's not saying that. Just before I wrap up, just yesterday I was looking at something that Kate Lewis, or whatever her name is, put in to make it comparable to the bathrooms and toilets. If you go on Facebook, you will see it. What NDC is doing now compared to what she was showing what they did. So the fact about it, vision is vision. The land alone is not the vision. The land was bought for the future vision, for going forward. And what NDC did is build quality houses. You're going down Fumbling and you see those little pieces of, as he called it, fall coop. He called it. And then you cannot see the vision in what NDC is doing. Michael Batiste, sorry to say this, I don't disrespect people, but you speak on both sides of your mouth, and there is something you're sitting on in your back pocket. You're expecting something. But let me tell you something. NDC would continue to go. So you have to stop this.
All right, caller, wrap it up so we'll get his response. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'll stop here.
All right, thank you so much, caller. Michael Batiste, I see you speaking on the both sides of your mouth. Two of them.
I don't feel I would dignify the caller by even uttering a response.
But would you answer this? Would you say that it was also a vision to build the 500 or build Grenadian style houses, whether it's on this land or other land? Because it's not only Project 500 is not only for that particular.
It's a continuation of an existing project.
Right. So what's wrong with
the design of the new project looks a lot better than the design of the old project.
Okay.
Right. So, but it's a continuation, and there's houses built on the project. There is a project there, and what this government is doing, they're continuing with the vision of the former government by building houses on lands that was purchased by the previous government for that purpose. What more can I say?
I wouldn't say they're following the same vision. I wouldn't say they're following the same vision, you know. I would say the vision has been modified. Because you can't say it's the same vision at all.
You can't modify the man's vision.
We saying the vision continues, basically, is giving the past administration kudos for what is we're experiencing now with the designs.
Well, they bought the lands.
No,
they saw the need to purchase lands there for low-income housing.
No, the land could have been converted to a playing field, you know. If the vision of the NDC was of a playing field there, Don Formey would have seen a playing field there.
Django, let me whisper in your ear. I want nobody here. I was the Minister of Agriculture at the time. There is a lot of lands there. Okay.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of lands there. There. I know for a fact.
So don't talk like that.
Yeah, but no, I'm just saying to you, the vision is not the same as the original NNP's vision. The vision has been modified.
Isn't it to provide low-income housing for people? Isn't the purpose of
no. What? Let me tell you something. Project 500 is not the traditional low-income design homes.
All right.
This is a way you're trying to build a community for working-class people. So you'd have teachers, policemen coming in together to form a new community.
But there are policemen and nurses.
Hold on. Added to that, it's not. It's done in different phases. I think it's 3 or 4 phases. They have a portion that they would use for the models. Then they would sell lands there. Then they have, if you have your private lands, you could go to the same Project 500 committee, and they would come on your property and build. You choose one of the designs, and you build it on your property. So it's a different vision. The original vision was nothing close to that. It was nothing close to that. Anyway, we have to go back to the rally. We haven't touched the rally yet.
Right, yeah, we touched the rally. Let me just take this last call on the phone line and then we'll go touch the rally a bit. Yeah. Caller, you're live. Where are you calling us from? On the phone line. The caller on the WhatsApp stay on standby. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, good evening, everyone, and good evening to your guests.
Yes.
Now, Project 500 seemed to touch a different sector of meaning that it's a transfer of wealth so that people can create wealth among themselves going forward. Now, the houses that were built during the NNP, I wouldn't say houses, but the apartment style thing that was built was not a transfer of wealth. It was a transfer of a living space, a cube. So persons went into a cube, they lived there with their children, and you had all kinds of social improprieties going on amidst those structure that went on there. And I understand that people who see that and will talk about it in an esteemed way is because of their thinking. And I must indeed say, I don't intend to make it about Mr. Baptiste, but I mean, I was embarrassed when Mr. Baptiste had to come in public and make an apology, word for word, being read by a minister of the NNP. If I was Mr. Baptiste, I would want absolutely nothing to do with NNP. But you understand the kind of person he is. So I understand that he doesn't understand where wealth will grow. He understands maybe a handout, not a hand up. And what NNDC is doing now is a hand up to persons so that they can create wealth within their family, and their family can progress. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, caller. Thank you. Well, let's take this last caller on the WhatsApp, and then we will go a little bit into the rally yesterday. Caller, live, where are you calling us from?
Calling from New York, Junior.
Go right ahead, caller.
Good night to you, Junior, your guests, and your viewers.
Yes.
Junior, I know your viewership is vast, and I would like Michael Baptiste to answer me here because I want everyone to hear what his response is. On the 7th of September this year, Michael Baptiste was on the Bob Report. And I just want to say this before I say the rest. I will not dispute anything Michael Baptiste has done, what he has been instrumental in accomplishing where fishing is concerned, the fish markets and all of that. And he had labored the things that he has done. But while he was doing so, he also went on to say that the NDC government has done nothing major for the fishing industry. And spoke about the fact that he was instrumental in getting things done for St. John. Now, Junior, I did some research. I went on my page and I tagged him and I tell him to correct the lie that he told that specific day. Because, Junior, in my research, you can see, and you could get the evidence yourself, that the original grant for the fish market in St. John's was from Japan, and that was during the 89 to 90 period. Now, NDC may not have been in government at that time, but from 90 going forward, that fish market in Guam, the first building was completed in 1992. That is during the reign of NDC. The second time that fish market was rebuilt was in 2009. That grant we got again was from the Embassy of Japan in Trinidad and Tobago. And it labels the project for improvement of traditional fishing community infrastructure at Guam. If you go and you research it yourself, Junior, you can see the handing over with Tillman Thomas shaking the individual's hand. It is labeled December 22nd, 2009. I would like for Michael Baptiste to tell us what he did in the two instances for him to even say that the NDC government has done nothing for fisheries and fishing on a whole.
Okay, all right. I'll give him an opportunity to respond. Listen to his response on the live. All right, caller. Thanks. All right, Michael.
Well, the dates that the gentleman have uttered here is not in reality with the truth. The Grenville fish market was built somewhere in 97, 98. That was negotiated there. The Grand Mall fish market was built, the jetty was built somewhere in 1990. The fisheries project in Grand Mall, the fisheries building, was built somewhere in 99 and so forth. So I don't know where he gets his dates from. The St. John's fish market was negotiated not by George Brizan. George Brizan had left government a long time ago. The Grenville fish market, again, Grenville was negotiated somewhere between 98 and 99 and constructed there, along with the Granitang Road as a fisheries access road. So I don't know where he's getting all his information from. Talking about 2009 when Gov was built, and what he saw Tillman was receiving was the equipments, because of course they came in into 2008. The fish market was already built, and then they were handing over the equipment. Tillman received the equipment. The records would show that all the fish markets in Grenville, except the jetty in Grand Mall, was built under the New National Party, including the gas station in Grenville. So the New National Party, and as I said, he's forcing me now to speak on the New National Party. I'm not here representing the New National Party. But as then minister responsible for agriculture and fisheries, I can tell you that Grenville Fish Market was built under the New National Party, along with the Granitang Road as a fisheries access road, the Grenville gas station, Melville Street Fish Market, Grand Mall Fisheries Complex outside of the jetty, and St. John's Fish Market were all built under the New National Party. The handing over of some equipments was received by Mr. Tillman Thomas in 2009 for the St. John's Fish Market. So, partner, get your act together. No one has done more for the fishing industry than your humble servant, including Fishermen Fund, engines, and so on. Getting the whole of Granitang Road to declare a fisheries access road, including the new bridge in Granitang. The New National Party, and I'm not here speaking on the New National Party. The New National Party developed the fishing infrastructure in Grenada. And I'm not here a representative of them. But I'm telling you what I know for a fact, because I was the minister.
Right.
And I can tell you that
the caller is saying he said Guav, not Grenville. He said that
Guav was also negotiated, and the project started under the NNP. They lost the election in 2008, 2009. Time to equip the facility. Tillman was receiving equipment, so he's talking over his head. I don't need to go through that over and over and over again. The records are there. I, as Minister of Fisheries, had the pleasure of negotiating this fish market because I was instructed by the government by the cabinet to develop the fisheries infrastructure in Grenada, and we did. So we will get to that later on, because the caller has raised as Hope McKenna won, because after all of that, the fishing industry has been developed by the former government, and I am not here representing them, but I can say with some measure of certainty that the only fishing facility that was built by the National Democratic Congress was a jetty in Grand Mall. And I can tell you who the contractor was. Who worked on all of this fishing.
Right. So we don't have time for all of that. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to look into it personally.
That's neither here nor there with that.
I'm going to look into it personally.
But on another note,
yeah.
We will talk about fishing later on when we talk about the rally.
So let's just take this other call.
We're going good, man.
Yeah. Let's take this other call real quick. Caller, where are you calling us from?
Yeah.
Junior, I can testify. I am a boat owner, and I can safely say that the NDC government are doing a lot for fisher folks. GDB has grants for fisher folks, right? Fisheries has rebates. The government, Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries has concessions. They're doing a lot. Even after burial, people got monies for fisher folks, right? I can attest to that.
Okay.
Even last week, one of the auditors calling around persons and audit. I got audit. Mm-hmm. I can testify that the fishing industry improved because before I went into it, I did my researches.
Okay.
Right? GDB has grant as we speak going on.
Okay.
For fisher folks.
Okay.
To buy equipment, engine, whatever. Thank you.
Okay, caller, thank you for your input. One last call before we go on to the speak of the rally. I know you guys are excited to hear Michael's input on that. Let me see. Caller, you are live. Where are you calling us from on the phone line?
Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, caller.
Good night to everyone that's listening. Good night to everyone that's on the program.
Yes.
I was actually listening to the program. Actually, I think it's my first time calling. Born Grenadian. I've been listening to Mr. Batiste. I like the way you're smiling. Anyway, I sort of want to. This is actually directing exactly to you because I've listened to you and I've listened to you quite a bit of time, and I've listened the way you speak and sometimes the way you come across things when as to what's happening now, as things are happening now. And it seems to me that you kind of take me back a bit as growing up as a young man. People used to say you can't do that, they won't let you do that, and you can't achieve that because of who you are or who you know, and sort of things like that. But I've proven to break that barrier because I decided not to listen to what people say. But I believe in me, and I had a vision to achieve certain things in a specific form, time frame, and not with what people say to me. And I think we need to give this present administration a lot of kudos because they are doing things way different. The mindset is completely different. We have moved far ahead when coming to developing infrastructure and planning. Now, I hear you mention about vision. And the vision is something that is complete. It's complete. It's not halfway. That's not a vision. Like my great host, Ride Along Jr., he had a vision to bring something to Grenada. And he kept building on it, adding towards it, because it's his vision. He knows exactly what he wants to present, the best. And this administration is presenting the best. They want the best for the people, and they want the people to understand that they're worth it. So sometimes when you keep speaking, you gotta let whatever it is that is holding you, or whatever grudge, or whatever it is that you're feeling, you got to let it go and see what we have before us. We have a great thing that's before us. We have a great prime minister. He's young. He has vision. He is doing so many things. For example, we're talking about securing the insurance they had for Grenada when the previous administration had stopped paid it. When this administration get into office, that's the first thing, or one of the main things they decide to embark on and get it up to speed and secure that. Now Hurricane Beryl came. Now, if it hasn't paid up, would we have had this money that is available to us to help our people to build back and to strengthen and bounce back Grenada? This is what you call vision. So, we have to give this administration a lot of praise and support them, not tear them down.
Right.
It's more to come in the pipeline. There's a lot of things, but we have to work together. If you see something that is great, don't strike it down. Don't look for ways to tear it down.
Right.
Go along with it. We are all Grenadians. It's for the people. It's for you, for your children to come and whatever, your generation. So he's in there. Let's support him. Let's give him all the hands, the ammunition that we have, whatever your knowledge about whatever it is you are good in your field. Let's just come together and push Grenada forward, because that's what we want to be.
All right. Cool.
And I hope you receive this in love. No animosity to you. And thank you so much.
All right.
You guys have a good night.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Michael, I got a graphic here that was sent to me recently. This is from the Embassy of Japan in Trinidad and Tobago. It's an economic cooperation sector improvement. The project for the improvement of the fishing sector in Guave. And you made a comment earlier, so that's a pushback to what you were saying earlier. This project in Guave and Granny Tang was handed over in November 29, 2011. And the small pictures that you've seen in the bottom there, the first one is the fisheries complex in November 2011. The second one is the jetty, November 2011. The third one is the antenna tower over in Granny Tang. The fourth is the coal facility. The fourth is the handing over ceremony in November 2011. That sort of contrasts what you said earlier. You care to explain?
Well, the handing over ceremony is not necessarily, the handing over ceremony did not indicate the date of construction or the date when the project was negotiated. So I don't know if there's any contrast there. I state to you, as far as the Granny Tang Road is concerned, the Granny Tang Road was part of the Grenville Fish Market. And that was part AB. So, and I know how that was negotiated. I remember inviting 7 cabinet ministers from Japan to Grenada and hosting them in the then famous Fontong. And I know what we negotiated. I know at the time when the project was approved. So I don't know if I need to go through any questionnaire on that. I know when the project started. I know who initiated the project. I know under which government the project was initiated. I didn't see they mention anything about the engines that was donated.
Yeah, it's not the road. It's the antenna. It's not the road.
The engines. Over 1,000 in both engines was donated. Also, we had also a fisherman fund that won't be included there. And there's a agency called JICA, which we got funds from. Is a non-government agency which also supported the fishing industry. So that draft that you presented here is it does not tell the full story as to what went on here. Okay, because it says nothing about the Granville Fish Market. It said nothing about the Melville Fish Market. It said nothing about Grand Mall Fish Market. It said nothing about the Granitang Road. It said nothing about a whole lot of things there. So all I would say is that the government of Japan was instrumental in working with the government of Grenada in developing the fishing infrastructure. And this fishing infrastructure took place under the New National Party. And as I want to repeat again, I'm not here representing the New National Party, but I can say as a matter of fairness that all the fishing facilities in Grenada was done under the major fishing facilities in Grenada was done under the New National Party. So I would rest my case on that.
All right. Again, I am going to do further follow-up.
Please do.
On
please,
this.
Please do. Please do.
Because I'm getting a lot of pushback on that statement, and I wish to clarify it and clear it up with my viewers. Don't have enough time to do that right now, as we at that part of the program are already over time. We have a lot more to discuss, right? Let's change gears a bit, Ian. Ian, you there still?
Well, he ain't go nowhere. I'm here.
Yeah, I'm right.
He come for me, so he can't go.
Nobody don't come for nobody. So the recently held rally, that was yesterday, right? One of the posts that caught my attention yesterday, Michael, was a post that you made saying that, first of all, what was your take on the rally yesterday?
Well, I think it was a decent turnout. All kudos to the National Democratic Congress. I don't feel there were much people from the area of Telescope present at that meeting. I don't know if it's because they are holding some resentment towards the government for unleashing terror on them a few months ago when.
But how did you come to that conclusion, Michael? That there was not much people from Telescope area.
Let me finish, and then you prove me otherwise. Okay.
I want to know, because that has to be a great sort of AI you have to conclude that the people that are there are not from Telescope.
Well, because of the amount of traffic and the buses and the mobilizing and all of that, obviously.
There was not a lot of buses from outside.
So they walk.
Are you in Grenada right now, Michael? Are you in New York?
No, I'm in New York.
How did you come to that conclusion? Who told you that?
So, what, Junior? I mean,
I want to know because I was there. I walked past there a couple times, and I couldn't tell that. I didn't come to that same conclusion. I just saw people.
Well, you don't know the soldiers you don't know the people from the area, so how would you know that? You're a stranger in the area.
But how did you know, looking at it from online, did you assess, do you have I was speaking to Mr. Pierre last week, and he said that you have also AI face recognition software that could identify faces.
No, you don't need that. You could look and you could see where they're coming from. It's a strategic area in Telescope where they're at, and you would see the foot traffic of people moving in and out. And when the buses are gone, you would see who's left. I mean, come on, you know the old thing. You don't have to count them when they come. You look at when they leave and when they're gone. Mm-hmm. When you're gone, you see who's left, and then you know, well, gee, everybody gone. Look like I said, everybody gone, so thing done.
Right.
But there's another side to that too. Even the people in the communities hearing the amplified song, they may not feel the need. They could stay home and iron the children clothes. They could stay home and hear the message. They could stay home and cook dinner. So it could be seen in that light also.
In other words, it reminds me of a guy who was sent out to advertise a meeting now. And he was going down all by the bayside, and I asked him, I said, well, what you doing down there? There's no house down there. He said, well, who ain't getting their home? I go get them in the garden. So you're saying you get them in the home while they are in
I'm just saying it could be taken from that point also.
I believe you.
Yeah, there are meetings.
You see how easy how easy we get along, and how easy I could believe what you say. They were in their home taking it in. They didn't come.
No, I'm not saying that is the case. That could be. the case.
Oh, well, okay,
Because
so I'm agreeing with you.
I've seen other communities where you have meetings and nobody come out, but everybody get the message because the community is kind of small.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Right. So you're saying, Michael, you thought it was a good showing. However,
Yeah.
you're saying that you feel like the people that was there got bused to the location, so it wasn't locals, because you figure that they're still hurting from what happened with the explosion in Telescope.
Well, yes, I was disappointed that when they came to the meeting, they didn't offer no apology to the people in Telescope. It was not long ago under this government, Minister of National Security, some unstable explosives were taken from Point Saline, southern tip of the island, and transported into the eastern part of the country via truck, whatever, and detonated in Telescope, causing serious damage to human and property. Of course, I heard the apologies, and I heard that the shifting of the blame was on gravel and concrete, and they were left with the responsibility of fixing the homes and all of that. I'm not quite sure how much they assist the people who may have suffered some sort of physical impairment as a result of that blast. So coming to Telescope, I thought some mention should have been made of that, but all in all, I think it was a good crowd. They came into St. Andrews. They didn't offer nothing to the people of St. Andrews at a time when people are reeling from the high cost of living. And the high cost of living is not just in Grenada alone, but it's globally. But they are suffering from high cost of living, and the government has more or less complicated that by increasing the electricity bill without even warning. The tax on water, the tax on sugar, the high reconnection fee for folks whose water is turned off. I didn't hear no relief for these people, but what I saw the I saw the visitors having a good time dancing and skanking on stage. Telescope is a fishing village, and at no point did I hear the Minister of Agriculture and Fishing, or the blue economy as he call it, because I guess he doesn't want to associate himself with the name Minister responsible for fishermen. At no point in time did I hear he address the issue of the fish ban that we face. Telescope is a fishing village. Telescope, Grenville, Soubise, Marquis, and other parts of the world, Boucher-Joux, Grand Anse. I did not hear he mention that vexing situation that's facing the country. I heard the Prime Minister went into a long tirade. He even talk about briefcase and all of that. And I thought that he was a little off track. I mean, I've heard him before, and he was on point addressing the issues and making promises and all of that. But this time around, I thought he as they say, he was flat in boxing. Say he was flat-footed.
Right. Okay. Ian, what was your take?
I don't think. I just want to respond to the comrade. I don't think the forum yesterday was to go into details in relation to a matter that you have, an ongoing matter that you're trying to resolve. Personally, I believe if you have to deal with that matter, you call the fisher folk into a meeting and you have that discussion. So going back to the rally, I believe the rally was it was well attended, although I believe it could have been, we could have had more people there, because now I'm using my comparative judgment. Looking at Boucher-Joux and then looking at here, but we have to remember now Boucher-Joux was a convention rally. Yesterday was a general council's rally. So automatically less people would be there from the general council meeting to the rally. So that in itself said that, but the content, the delivery of the stewardship of the different caretakers and members of parliament, I believe they did some justice in relation to what was done in their different areas. And all in all, the people had a good time. The conversation was good. The atmosphere was good. The weather was even better. the indication that the people still support the National Democratic Congress is high. People like the vibes. It was a good event. It was a very good event. It was a very good event. Very good event. Content-wise, participation-wise.
You have a screen black out there, yeah.
Yeah, he's bringing a video for you.
Okay, the screen black. Okay, all right. So let me think that. Michael, during or after the rally, you said that the Prime Minister ran out of lyrics. You also went on to say his vision of building the low-income home. You spoke about that. You come last with that. Will and come again. And you also said that the Prime Minister didn't inspire. He was not inspiring. Were you looking for inspiration? Were you personally thinking that he would have inspired? What was your expectation?
Of course, Junior. This Prime Minister is not one who speaks to the nation at regular intervals. This Prime Minister is one who operates on a need to know. There's a lot of issues trending and pending, I might add. We have a situation with the Cuban fiasco where America have imposed sanctions on the government, where they bar a cabinet minister from traveling to the USA. I don't know if there's a Fisher's meeting now, except they hold it in Isle of Roon. I don't feel he'll be able to attend. I think that we need some clarity on that as to how we proceeding with that. The United States have made a request to Grenada in relation to some radar or some.
But that wasn't a speech to the nation. That was a rally.
No, hold on.
There's a party event.
Hold on. What if it's a party event? Then why he mentioned that nurses are coming to Grenada from Ghana? If it's a party event,
he's speaking to his party people so they could share the message. He's preaching to his congregation to share the message.
Wait.
To the rest of the population.
Let's be real on that. You can't blow hot and cold at the same time. If he's talking about nurses coming to Grenada, he's talking about national policy. Then what makes you think he can't talk about the other things? He's talking.
No, because they're sensitive issues. Very sensitive issues.
I promise I won't utter one word when your time comes. Okay? The Prime Minister, who is seldom speaking to the nation, we have several outstanding issues. We have the issues of the fish ban that we're facing on January 1. I am sure the fishermen in Telescope, those who did not attend the meeting and they was at home helping their wives do their children school clothes, I'm sure they would want to hear something positive as to how far we reach, because this is the middle of November, and what is at stake is $40 million that we are about to lose come January 1, circulating in Subi's Telescope and all these areas. We heard no mention of that. They treat it with benign neglect as if it does not exist. We didn't hear nothing about the radar. I mean,
I think you're conflicted because that wasn't addressed to the nation.
Listen to me again. I'm saying the Prime Minister's what you say ministerial statements. I heard the Minister of Agriculture, and I didn't want to get to him. I heard he's singing and crowing all about how much toilets he built and how much box drain and all of that. He was talking to the nation. He was talking to his constituents. You see, because this Prime Minister treats Grenadian with contempt on a need-to-know basis. Whenever he has an event of that nature, people expecting some substantive announcement from him. I'm saying we did not hear it. Of his extensive travel 50 times in 40 months, we only heard his accomplishment with bringing in Ghanaian nurses to Grenada. He didn't he made no mention of his success in his other travels. he's leaving up to guys like me and others to speculate, and that's not very good.
Right.
I heard he called on the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and when he called on the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I said, yes, we're going to hear something. And what he said, he asking the Minister of Foreign Affairs to talk about movements, how much movements established, how much movements collapsed. I wanted to hear the Minister of Foreign Affairs talk to us about the relationship between Grenada and America and what is our position now, so we know what our stake would be. He does not address the nation. He doesn't address the press. We don't hear him anyway. So we figure he talking to his people would be an opportune time for, as they say, to expatiate and to tell the nation as to what's going on. But all I'm hearing is all he spoke is about nurses coming in thing. He made no mention about the relationship Grenada had with Cuba, whether or not that relationship is still wholesome, whether we would the agreement we had with Cuba for medical personnel coming into Grenada, whether that's still valid.
Right.
We are left to speculation.
Michael, let's put it like this. You were expecting an address to the nation. That's what you were expecting.
I was expecting him. Right. I was expecting him to give us an insight as to what's going on with the nation's business
at a rally. That's what you was expecting.
Well, you could tell us what your travels, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs could talk about his stewardship and what we could expect.
Okay, let's take this call quick, Michael, because we're running out of time. I have a few more calls I want to take. Caller, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Grenada.
Caller, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So I don't think I am listening correctly. But I know for a fact that it was announced that there was going to be a general council rally. Yes? Not an address to the nation by the Prime Minister. Yes? It was just a general council rally, not an address to the nation. So, Mr. Baptiste, you need to get your facts.
That voice sounding like a plant. He's sounding like a plant. Look.
Let me jump in before you go back in.
Yeah.
How inappropriate was it when Dr. Mitchell took the opportunity to announce the oil and gas finding outside of a national press conference, but on a political stage 3 days before the election?
Well, there you have it.
It was inappropriate.
You are saying exactly what I'm saying.
No, I said it is inappropriate.
No, it's not. It's not inappropriate.
Let me tell you why. Because when you speak the nation's business at a closed event, basically, because when you speak to your audience, there are some people that would never listen to that because they're not into NNP business, they're not into NDC business. When you have issues of national importance, you speak to the nation, you put down your political hat, you raise down your green or your yellow jersey, and you hold on, you just say you're jumping when I'm talking. You speak to the Grenadian people and the world to deal with your national issues. You see, the type of old-time politics we used to experience, we need to change that. When we go to a political rally, we go to get political conversation, so you feed your political people, your foot soldiers, you feed them the information to go out to the communities and lead, become the community leaders. That is what the politics is supposed to evolve into. I don't see it necessary that the Prime Minister should be talking about Cuba's situation in an NDC event or the radar situation in an NDC event, because there are NNP people that would tune out automatically and not hear a word that he's saying. And they may try to politicize it also. So when you're dealing with national issues, the prudent thing to do is have a national address and you speak to your entire nation. You rest down your green hat, you rest down your yellow hat, and you talk to all Grenadians. Thank you very much.
Well, what you have said here is tantamount to not very much. The Prime Minister made an address about Ghanaian nurses coming to Grenada. that's a national matter because he's bringing in people to work in our hospital to take care of our sick. So I see nothing wrong. The fact that the Prime Minister treats Grenadian with such contempt, and I want to make the point here now. We had 2 referendums. The people of Grenada said resoundingly that they did not want anyone to interfere with the Constitution. Leave it as is. But the Prime Minister were able to get some guys and chang the Constitution and say, well, you see this spot, I could take it out.
But was it against the law? Was it against the law?
Hold on.
Hold on. If you said
against the law, hold on.
If he broke the law in doing so, is that
there's something called the spirit of the law and convention. You believe the New National Party could not chang the Constitution and take out parts of it? They went to the people in the spirit of the law as outlined in the Constitution, that if you want to interfere with that sacred document, the people must do so in a referendum. The New National Party had 2 referendums. The people say no, leave the Constitution as it is. But this Prime Minister, in his own dictatorial way, feeling that he's above the law, above the people.
Break the law. When you say above the law, that means that he some kind of circumvent or ignore parts of the law. He broke the law.
Circumvent is the word. He circumvent the process by taking away the rights of the people as outshined in the Constitution.
Right.
The people must have a stake in any time you amend the Constitution.
Okay, let's have Ian.
No, I am not.
Ian, jump in here really quickly. At the time.
What provisions were made in the Constitution for the Attorney General? What should be the qualification of the Attorney General in the Constitution?
I will have to turn to my legal department.
Must, and I'm saying, I'm quoting them, must be a lawyer.
And I'm not sure he's tuning into Grenada politics now to hand me that information right now, but I could turn to my legal department right there.
The Attorney General of Grenada must be a lawyer.
Yes.
How many times Gregory Bowen was the Attorney General of this country?
Never.
In the Constitution.
Never.
Do not do your research. We'll talk about it on the next program.
We'll talk about it on the next program. Listen to me.
Gregory Bowen has been the Attorney General here.
The Minister of Legal Affairs does not have to be a lawyer.
I said the Attorney General.
Never.
All right. Junior, do your research.
Never.
Okay.
But here you have.
That another time.
Here you have
a
Dick and Mitchell administration circumventing the laws, going against the wishes of the people. The people say no twice. Don't interfere with the Constitution. Leave it as it is.
Not the issues that was raised about the Constitution. Not the Constitution.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. As a politician, as an MP, when you raised your right hand, were you comfortable pledging allegiance to the king or the queen?
Successors.
Were you comfortable with that all the time?
Listen to me again, Junior. Whether I am confident or anybody's confident is irrelevant. It was the law of the land in the Constitution. Right. And the Constitution say that if we must change that, we must go back to the people and seek a 2/3 majority.
Yeah, but they obviously...
You have the 2/3 in the parliament?
Listen, no.
You have the 2/3 in the parliament, and the people represent the people. The parliamentarians represent the people.
The previous government went through the democratic process. They respect the rule of law. And they took the case to the people, and the people said on 2 occasions, you think Dick and Mitchell is the only lawyer in Grenada? They could have looked through the Constitution and say, you know what? I could chop out this line here and go with all of that. He didn't do that. He said, in the spirit of the law, let the people determine whether they want the Constitution changed or not. And they say no on 2 occasions, and the previous government leave it alone. But here you have this guy here trying to pretend as he is the best lawyer in the world and a
Francis
dictator,
Alexis,
going against the wishes of the people.
Francis Alexis, who is a revered constitutional lawyer, understood that there are provision and there was provision for the change.
When he made that, when he discovered that Francis Alexis was the Minister of Legal Affairs and Attorney General under the NDC. They proposed constitution reform. They had a draft constitution reform prepared for dissemination. It didn't come true. When the previous government wanted to do constitution reform, they sought the legal expertise of Dr. Francis Alexis Ruggles Ferguson, and they all determined that yes, we will go to a constitution reform. They had a draft constitution that they presented to the people. The people look at it, even when they said the name Carriacou and P.T. Martinique will be included on the passport. There shall be 2 terms for Prime Minister. Things that were favorable to Carriacou and P.T. Martinique, the people say no. They said, and that is the masses, the voice of the people said, don't interfere with the Constitution. So what make you believe now that Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell could circumvent the wishes of the people? That was said over in a referendum twice. They told them whether or not raising our hand and pledging to a foreign legion, a dog or a tree or whatever, that was the Constitution.
But that particular issue was not raised in constitution reform.
No, the people.
Subject matter.
It was. Well, if you have constitution reform, all of that would go. But the people said twice.
But that was not a part. That was not one of the articles in constitution reform. Okay. That was never there. But
watch me. The people said twice.
Yeah.
That they do not want any government. You see,
they said that the particular articles listed in the items listed in the constitution, the proposed constitution reform, they didn't want it.
And not only that,
well, what about the process?
Added to that, what was proposed by the referendum committee was adjusted by the government of Grenada. That is why the people voted against it. The committee suggested. The committee suggested nothing beyond 2 terms. The government of Grenada at the time suggested 2 consecutive terms, twisting the words to make it like you go take a break and come back to be the prime minister. The people didn't want that. They said exactly what it is they wanted. You can't be the prime minister beyond 2 terms.
The people said, then the constitution said that if you have to amend the constitution, you must go back to the people.
No, the people didn't say that. The Constitution, the people didn't say that, Michael. The Constitution said that.
That's how we inherited said that.
We inherited that, Michael. The Constitution says a lot of things that we just adapt.
Regardless of whether we inherited or not, it is the law of the land.
And that is one of the
It says that we the people.
That is one of the
weaknesses
of Eric Gary. Because when the Constitution was handed, he accepted it wholeheartedly. And went
wait a minute, when it was handed?
It was handed in 1973 and he took it and he ran with it.
Nothing was handed. Listen to me, nothing was handed. There was a constitution consultation in Marlborough House in 71.
Yes.
The then Prime Minister, Mr. Heliger, the opposition leader, Mr. Honorable late Hubert Blaise, Ben Jones, and I think if my memory serves me right, I think one of the radical fellows and them was there with them as advisors. And they agreed on the Constitution and it became enacted in 72. And we got, after 73. We sought they said go to a referendum, get permission from the people, and then we got the Constitution. It wasn't just handed to us like that.
It was
everyone knew what
handed to us. Yeah,
watch me. Everyone, listen. My point here is my point is a very simple one, and that is the problem with us Grenadians. We support people when they do wrong things because we like them, and I have a problem with that. I am saying
you
to
do the
you
same
that
thing.
what Dick and Mitchell did was wrong.
But you're doing the same thing.
You're good.
No,
You're good.
what Dick and Mitchell did was wrong.
Okay.
Dick and Mitchell had no right in changing any part of the Constitution without a referendum as outlined in the spirit of the Constitution. Let the people decide.
Michael, so Gary didn't do no bad. In your eye, Gary
course
could
he
never
did
do no bad.
Of course you do.
You
bad.
like him.
You like him.
So
You
what-
will defend him no matter what.
So I don't like you. I don't like you. You don't do bad.
Let me take a call.
What is it? Django do bad.
No, I do no bad. I do no bad.
Let me take a quick call. Caller, you like where you calling us from?
That's not the point.
Hi, good evening, Junior.
Hold up. Michael, let's just say the caller. You come back and do it. Caller, go ahead.
Hi, good evening.
Yes.
Junior and the panelists. I'm calling from Grenada.
Yes.
I just want to say, I'm not a political person, but so far the things that Michael Batiste is saying, like, he just make me want to support NDC. Because everything that he's speaking about is kind of backwards to me. Because as a young person, we're looking at the digital economy, you know. Everything is not about agriculture. And most of the things that he's saying, we can just go to AI and debunk that. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not against Michael Batiste, but what I like to see is more like young people involved in politics. Because the old way of doing things, it's not going to take us forward. It's not going to move us forward. Thank you.
All right, caller. Thank you so much. Guys, listen, I would like to have this conversation continue, and I think we may have to do it sometime later down in the week. I think that we really need to. We go 2 hours and over right now. We have to end at this point in time. Michael, I don't know if you want to come back sometime later so we could finish up something today.
We were okay. As a matter of fact, I think your pre-pep talk to your audience brought them to a measure of stability. Look at how we can sit here and discuss matters of national importance without any name calling.
Exactly. But right along with a respectful platform, Michael.
Right. So now we can put it out there and say, was removing the pledge from the Constitution legal? Because the Constitution states clearly that any part of the Constitution, we must go to the people with a referendum. And the fact that the people rejected 2 referendums and they said, leave our document alone.
I think it's referendum.
That's what they said.
They said, leave our Constitution alone.
The issues that was highlighted in the Constitution is what they had.
They said no, watch me, they said no to Constitution reform.
They said no to the items on the Constitution reform. On the
Constitution reform, they say no to Constitution reform.
They said no to the items that was highlighted on the referendum.
You couldn't say that. You could pick and say all of that.
Because I'm certain if there were other items on the referendum, chances are they might have said yes to it.
Like what?
But remember,
because you see the
pledge,
the
allegiance, the oath of allegiance.
In the Constitution, they even propose gay marriage, you know.
Say again?
In the Constitution draft, they even propose gay marriage.
Would they propose gay marriage?
Well, it said that the Marriage Act was going to change, and a marriage shall be the union between 2 persons. It never say man and woman.
Who proposed that?
That was in the.
Well, I didn't see the draft.
Well, you should read the draft.
Yeah, I didn't see the draft.
Yes, you read the draft in the
but you see
draft.
what?
Says,
I would play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
You know, love is love, really.
What that mean?
Love is love.
Yes, I believe so too.
Thank you very much.
I have no problem.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I did not have no problem with that draft, you know, because I believe in equality for everybody. But I'm saying to you, but there was niceties in the Constitution that can attract everybody, because when you create the loophole and you said marriage, they changed the Marriage Act to say that marriage shall be between 2 persons. The church kicked against it, but I said, don't bother with the church. Let's go along with it. Yeah. But the people, you see, in 1979, we had they abolished the Constitution and they created the People's Law. And as a result of the People's Law, hundreds of people in Grenada suffered. They died without a pension.
Right. Mike, that is a whole conversation.
Next topic, another topic.
I think we could leave that for the next time we come around. But I want to invite you guys, though, to a big something that we have going on in Ghana. It's Touch Africa, right along and teaming up with All Pro NYC, and we want to take you to Ghana. It's Touch Africa. Guys, we take care of you from the time you land, all excursions. It's so amazing. Want to take you there. Ride Go and All Pro NYC is there. All right, we'll tell you more about that. Check the page. We'll be right back, guys. We are overdue for a commercial break. We'll be right back. Don't move.
Yeah, da 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 da. What boy? Yeah, what boy? What boy? The sun is hot, the breeze is slow. I need a ride. Where do I go? Ride Go, yeah, that's the name. Island roads will never feel the same. Tap the app, just one click, hopping fast, it's real quick. Ride Go, where do you wanna go? To the beach, to the street, let the island flow. Ride Go, the good vibe show, fastest growing ride, everybody know. Ride Go, where do you wanna go? To the beach, to the street, let the island flow. Ride Go, let the good vibe show, fastest growing ride, everybody know.
Where do you want to go?
Hi, I want $10 on Playway, $20 back up on Pick 3, and cash for each, please.
Okay, are you adding multi-X to your bet?
Yes, multi-X, all of them.
Smart! Best value bet. Backup and multi-X, you cannot go wrong.
Don't matter the bet, multi-X all of the daily games.
With multi-X added, your winnings can be multiplied 3 times, 5 times, even 7 times. So make it a rule. Add multi-X to all your Playway, daily Pick 3, and daily cash for bets every day and for every drop, and watch your money grow. Available at stores and online.
You heard it here. Multiply your winnings daily. Must be 18 or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Are you a progressive young leader, a proactive emerging executive, a rising professional? Then you need appropriate cover for your vehicle. Introducing the Pro Motor Plan from Beacon. Car insurance that includes free loss of use, windscreen cover up to $3,500, free special perils, free accident forgiveness. Get Beacon's Pro Motor Plan today. Don't procrastinate. Call Beacon today at 440-4447 or visit beacongrenada.com.
Yeah, guys, earlier, so we spoke about, you saw the ad about Ride Go. Ride Go is a ride-share app, and if you're in Grenada and you want to get around, and you need a personal driver to take you from point A to point B, you want to hang out, you're going to the club, and you want to get there, download the Ride Go app right now. It's Ride Go. Yeah, Ride Go, like RYDEGO, and you get a personal taxi, and I ain't talking about no any kind of taxi. I'm talking about you getting 5-star transportation to pick you up anywhere you are. Download Ride Go right now. It's like Uber. It's like an Uber app right there in your phone, right here in Grenada. The best way to go. Ride Go. Where do you want to go? Download the app right now. We also have Ride Go for if you want to get a tuk-tuk. Yeah, Ride Go for tuk-tuk. Check it out.
The sun is hot, the breeze is slow. I need a ride. Where do I go? Ride Go, yeah. That's the name. Island roads will never feel the same. Tap the app, just one click, hopping fast, it's real quick. Ride Go, where you wanna go? To the beach, to the street, let the island flow. Ride Go, let the good vibes show, fastest growing ride, everybody know.
Tuk-tuk now available on Ride Go. Book now.
Right, if you want to find out how you get a RideGo, you go into the App Store right now. You go into whether it's Android or Apple, and you download the RideGo app right now into your phone. Do it right now. Try it out. Check it out. Register. It only takes like about 2 minutes or less. Download the RideGo right now, and let your next travel be on us. Yeah. And also for Christmas, guys, you could send travel credit. You have a family member, you're in the United States, and you want to send travel credit to your family member here in Grenada. You want to call a taxi to an elderly family member, or anybody for that matter. You could call RideGo from any part of the world. So whether you're in Grenada or in New York or England or wherever, download RideGo, send RideGo to a family member. It's RideGo, RYDEGO, where do you want to go? And again, we'd like to thank Michael Batiste. We'd like to thank Ian Django Thomas for an extended conversation. And guys, we will have another conversation to wrap this one up here. We have a lot to talk about. Michael, closing words, my friend.
Well, I want to thank you as usual for affording me the opportunity to speak on some issues in relating to our national development. I want to thank Django, my good friend, for being such a civil, shall I say, a co-panelist.
Yes.
I think we did very well. A lady asked me a question earlier, but I think we answered wrong. It asked about the vehicles that were given to the constituents. And I want to say to the young lady, my position is that is excessive. I believe parliamentarians get 100% duty. I believe they get a good salary. I believe at this time when people are having problems sending their children to school, I believe we have a problem facing fishermen across the island, especially Carriacou and Petit Martinique and St. John's, where their boats have to be refitted with monitoring equipment. They have to change the line of hook. We have to get them prepared. We have to hire attendants on the ground to station them on fish landing sites. I think we could find better ways to spend that money other than at this time buying vehicles for parliamentarians. I feel parliamentarians make enough money as it is. They could manage and get around. But I want to thank you, Junior. I want to thank you, Django, and I want to thank the listening audience tolerating me. Not that it matters to me, you could throw everything at me. I'm made for that. It's okay. But you've been a wonderful audience this evening, and I'm looking forward to coming back again sometime.
No problem. Yeah, Django.
In the near future, I hope I did not raise your guys' pressure. And I know I've been doing this with my, not you guys here, but on the social media with my sometimes brutal comments about the state of affairs. But of course, we need to ventilate those issues. We all can yam them some, we have to understand that, and we have to be tolerant of each other and do it in a respectful way. Those of you who agree with me, fine. Those who don't agree with me, that's fine too, but that's who I am.
Right. All right. Django Thomas?
I believe the vehicles are tools for the trade. I personally believe the vehicles are well warranted. It is very unfair for anybody to use their personal vehicle to execute work duties and not be paid for it. So with that said, who want to take the vehicle ticket, who believe they have enough money to buy one for the entire team, they could do that also. But I would like to thank you, Junior, for having myself and my comrade, my St. Andrew's comrade on the program this afternoon. It was indeed somewhat civil, but I would want to impress upon him too, to use his platform and voice to call out and promote the good deeds of the government. When the National Democratic Congress do something that is well warranted, please highlight it. Yes, because I know you have following, you have people that will listen to you, and we should not just be slanted because we ain't like that. The NDC is doing well. Give them a little thumbs up now and then, man. Yeah? We could agree on that.
Speak on your own behalf, my brother.
That's no thumbs up now and then, man.
No. All right, guys.
All right, take care, man.
Thank you, guys.
Bless.
Michael Matisse.
Yes, man.
All right, thank you, man. Yeah, Django Thomas and Michael Matisse right here on the ride. Thank you guys for being respectful. Again, I think we could be tolerant, right? We could be tolerant. You don't have to agree, but we could be tolerant. And on both sides, listen, I get attacked a lot, right? And I'm not controversial. I don't trouble nobody, as I say. But some people may disagree with what I say, and then they go on their platform, and you guys send me the clips, and I said, don't send me the clips. This so-called person or this individual who always cussing every minute. I just say sometimes you can't be so negative all the time. Like, you have to be a positive day. But if that's what you want to do, if that's what gets you views, you could be positive and still get views, right? Along it's still the most popular platform in the Caribbean, not only Grenada. Over 9 million views, and we don't cuss people out. So you don't have to cuss people out to get views. But anyway, if that's how people tend to want to do their thing, that's how they do their thing. But what I'm saying is, we need to be tolerant of each other. We need to be tolerant of each other. And all of us need to use our voice to ensure that people understand. Because you may rile people up, and some people, they just on edge, you know. Next thing you know, they want to do things. I saw a guy did a video of me doing some kind of thing, and who running me over with car and all kind of stupidness. Like what a for? What a for? You know what I mean? So it's craziness. We need to be more tolerant. We need to be more accepting. That's why I always have programs where if we have a conversation, I want to get another input, and let's talk, because people these days don't talk. And we need to see if it's bad on one side, we can't see it good when the other side is doing it. If it's bad, it is bad. And there's a lot of bad happening on both sides. It's just back and forth. And it will never stop until we say, guys, or someone at the top say, this is stupidness. Neighbors are talking to neighbors. Friends are talking to friends. People who have been my friends like all my childhood days, some of them don't even talking to me. For what? I don't know. It's stupidness. Pure stupidness. It's dumb, foolish. Anyway, guys, I also want to tell you guys, I want to keep telling you guys, I tell you already, but this is really big, guys. I want you guys to pay attention to this. Ride Go, we are going to Ghana. We are going to Ghana, Accra to be exact, April 16th to the 26th. And we want you guys to come along. We want you guys to book your space. Now, we have a payment plan that would fit anyone and everyone's pocket, but we can't take everybody. We're only going to take 25, and we already have about 8 people who are already committed and paid and ready to go. So if you want to go to Ghana, if you want to see Accra, if you want to see the motherland, if you want to see the castle, if you want to see the whole, what a perception is of Ghana, if you want to see the real Africa, if you want to touch Africa, you got to come to us in Africa, April 16th to the 26th. Food, excursions, accommodations, transport, and get this, guys, Ride Go works in Ghana. Yeah, part of the thing is Ride Go is going to be available in Ghana as well. Part of the thing, right? So it's a big thing. In addition, guys, a lot, in addition, there's a big carnival happening in Ghana within that same time. First time ever Caribbean carnival in Ghana. So we're going to be there for the festivity, tons of events. You're going to get the history, you're going to get the excursion, the safari tour, the everything. It's all about Touch Africa, Ghana experience, April 16th to the 26th. Ride Go and All Pro NYC. We're doing it up. Want to see you guys there. Please be a part of this. This is really good. It's amazing. It's amazing. Touch Africa, the Ghana experience. Guys, and again, the down payment for this is $500. $500. Very easy. And you could stretch your payment out into next year. So you could save a little, and pay that money down. All right, it's not a difficult or very expensive trip, but it will last you a lifetime. So make that commitment, $500, and we go into Ghana. We are going to Ghana. Yes. Once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program. On behalf of all of our production crew at Ride Along Live, our senior executive producer, Lois JJ, and everyone at Team Ride Along Live, we say good night, and good night. My name is Junior George. Catch you guys again tomorrow. Peace out.
Looking for the ultimate island experience? Hop on the Ride Tuk Tuk Rum Punch Tour and explore Grenada like never before. Feel the tropical breeze, sip on authentic Caribbean rum punch, and cruise through Grenada's stunning scenery in our unique and fun tuk-tuks. It's the perfect blend of adventure and island flavor. Book your unforgettable tour now at ride.gd or call 473-422-1011. Don't just see Grenada, experience it with Ride Tuk Tuk Rum Punch Tours today.